First stop, Home Depot. Here I'm getting 1.25 inches for the outer and 1/2 inch for the inner tube. Novritsch's suppressor is 8.8 inches long. Mine, I'm going to cut right at 9 inches. It's not off that big of a difference. So 9 inches for your cut for the 1.25 inches. All right, there's the first one. The inner barrel of this suppressor is going to be 8 3/4 inches long. Later on in the video, I'll tell you why we're cutting that 1/4 inch shorter. There's the inner. All right. Now we're going to take the 1/2 inch inner tube and I'm just going to drill 100+ holes in it. And that will allow the gas to escape into the sponge and act as your baffle. Now for the inner tube, you want to make sure all these holes are clean. There's no stragglies behind, especially for when the BB travels down through the center. You don't want any plastic from where I drilled these holes to be in the way. So I'm going through with a little hand file, just making sure there's no burrs on the inside, making sure that inner tube is good and clean. All right, once you have the inner tube all deburred and everything's nice and smooth, here is 6061 aluminum rod, 1.25 inch round, and I was trying to keep this build lightweight, so that's why I chose aluminum. So here I'm measuring the depths of the threads so that I can cut my aluminum base to that exact same thickness. And what I got was 1/4 inch, so here I'm marking it. So mark your center, which is exactly 5/8, and then start with a small bit for a pilot hole. So next I had to get a metric drill and tap set, M16 threads, and that's because Novritsch's SSX23 is proprietary to the M16 threads. Next we can move up to our 15mm drill bit. That came with our tap set. Make sure you spray a little lubricant on it, and now we can tap our hole. Make sure your tap is perfectly straight and start going in and then back it up, in and back it up. It's extremely easy to screw this part up, especially aluminum being so soft. All right, now we're going to try it out. Screws on beautifully. Now the 1.25 inch aluminum rod is a hair smaller than the 1.25 inch PVC, but I'm going to fix that with some thread tape. So just put you a few rounds of this on, and this will definitely tighten it up to where it won't move when you put it in the end, like so. And I glued it real good with Gorilla liquid glue, and this stuff is solid. Next, I needed some foam to act as the baffle on the inside of the suppressor, and this stuff was perfect because it already had the hole drilled out perfectly for the 1/2 inch center tube. Now, very important, make sure you get the 1.8D by 3.2 0.8. That is perfect for the 1/2 inch center rod. So these do not have a hole all the way through. It's solid down here. These are just filters for fish ponds. But if you take where the hole stops and becomes solid right there, you just take and cut that end off. You don't need that, obviously. So let's put 4 on there, see where we're at. I might use them all. see how this fits in here first. Oh yeah, perfect. Remember at the beginning of the video, I told you to cut your inner tube 3/4 inch shorter. Well, that's to allow for the aluminum base. That is perfect fit. And this foam perfectly centers the center tube also. That's what I like about this foam. It's perfect. You don't have to cut any sheets and wrap it. This is already has the holes drilled, everything. Next step, the cover for the front. Obviously this is a little rough around the edges, but once I get it glued, I'm gonna glue it on here, perfectly center it. And then once that glue is set up, I will trim it around the edges using my Gorilla Glue, the liquid. The inner tube, just put it around the edge. And then you're going to center that on there. Make sure it's centered as good as possible with the 1/2 inch. Like I said, we can go through here with a file once it's all set up and do some finishing on it. All right. So now I need to get something heavy to put onto here until it sets up. How I made the end cap was I just took some plastic, and you can use any type of plastic, but make sure it's pretty thick. The reason I used plastic was to keep the weight down. And I literally just took this, the outer tube, then I took a razor blade and I just traced around it. And then I took scissors and I cut the circle. And then the middle circle, the hole in the middle, make sure it's perfectly lined up in the middle. And then I took a 39/64 drill bit, and you can see here it goes perfectly right down the center of a 1/2 inch PVC. And that's what I drilled the center with. All right, now I'm going to shape the front and clean it up real good. You see I already drilled some holes in just to make it look good. All right, it's all sanded. Now I'm just going to paint it black to match the gun. Eventually I'm going to paint the whole gun in suppressor like a camo style, but today I'm just doing black. So here I'm just using some Rust-Oleum black and doing several coats to match the gun. And here I'm doing a matte finish polyurethane Rust-Oleum, getting several coats on that just to protect it until I get to the camo paint job. Here she is, folks. Put the magazine in. All right, first we're gonna test it without the suppressor. All right, let's do a first shot. Oh yeah, you can definitely hear that snap. All right, let's see what it sounds like with the suppressor. All right, let's see what it sounds like now. There's definitely a difference between the suppressor and without the suppressor. So my take is that this homemade suppressor made out of PVC definitely does work. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hopefully it can help one of you guys if you guys decide to build your own. And let me know in the comments what you guys think and if you guys could tell a difference between the suppressor and not the suppressor.